Sup team, welcome to the video. It's late. I'm sick. I don't feel good. But I feel even worse about my lack of content creation. And so we're going to run this one take. It's actually like the fourth time I've started this, so it's not really a one take, but we're going to one take it through. I think a lot about how optimally to live. And I don't think there are that many potential paths that you can take that are really feasible given the structure of our society and civilization. And specifically, I'm thinking about how to behave and what to pursue once you have your needs met, once you have your bottom 3.5 on the pyramid met, your safety, your physiological needs, your love, intimacy, or the ability to either to be in an intimate relationship or the ability to be in one, which I think are equal, which is arguable. But that top piece, that top 1.5, the self-actualization, but also part of the rung below it. It's so many of the paths that I see people take and that I catch myself wanting to take are not purely, but mostly out of a desire to look good or to look a certain way in the eyes of others. So I think if you look at the different principles that drive action, hedonism is one, pursuit of pleasure. Materialism is one, pursuit of better, more expensive stuff, clothes, cars, house, watches, and I think that one especially, fame, falls in there. That one especially falls under a category that I think is, I just don't see any reason for the pursuit of those things other than to signal to others your status. And that just seems this probably comes off as judgmental, but I don't mean it to come off as judgmental, because where I'm coming from is I'm seriously debating these things for myself. And then meaning or purpose or responsibility is another thing that you can pursue. And there's more than just three, right? And there's some overlap. You can be hedonistic on the weekends and have a career or spend your time most of the time doing something that you find meaningful, and then enjoying the pleasures of whatever it may be. Decadent food, anything that gives you pleasure. Music, sexual experience, there's a lot of things. I just see the hedonistic route as one where I would become unsatisfied, because whatever you attain, whatever you start doing, becomes the new normal. When you graduate from rice and beans at home to having Chipotle every day, then Chipotle every day gives you the same feeling that rice and beans used to give you. Once you have your needs met, every rung is okay, this is fun for a few days, and then it adjusts. At least that's how I see it. But I could be wrong. A lot of people pursue hedonistic life paths and maybe successfully. So help me out in the comments, by the way. One thing I've been thinking about in this kind of content break is I'm really bad at accepting criticism objectively. I get emotional and I have an ego, and so if you have criticisms of my thought process, or if you see other call them philosophies that drive action, list them below, because I'm curious. But in that last bucket, which is meaning or purpose or responsibility, there's a lot of ways you can do that too, right? Like, you can have a family and be an amazing father or mother. You can like choose a job that is deeply meaningful to you. My 7th grade social studies teacher, John Bourne, was like unbelievably impactful on me, and that's service. That's 40, 45, 50 years of working for, like, not glamorous paychecks. Like, you got to deal with bratty 7th grade kids, but 3 to 4 of the lessons he instilled in me had massive, massive positive impact. And there are a lot of ways to pursue a life of meaning. JP's reduce suffering and the way he gets there logically makes a lot of sense to me, which, like, the defeat of nihilism, which is, in short, and I've actually talked about this in a video somewhere here, but that how we act reflects our true beliefs more so than how our words reflect our beliefs. And so if we look at the actions of people, take someone who claims to be completely nihilistic and drive a spike through their hand, they are going to act like that has meaning. Even if they say life is meaningless, there's no meaning in the world, they're going to act like that has meaning, even if it's negative meaning. And is there meaning in the world? Well, there is negative meaning, and if there is negative meaning, then reducing the negative meaning mathematically means that there is positive meaning. So, reduce suffering. And I think like a good parent reduces the current and future suffering. Sorry. I'm kind of into the lighting in this video, by the way. I think a good parent reduces the current future suffering of their offspring. I think a good teacher does that. I think, even like take a personal trainer in the gym who works as hard as they can and reads up to get smart and stay current, and like really listens to their clients and really tries to help them. Like they are doing a real service. There's a lot of ways that you can pursue meaning, but at its core, the reduction of suffering. And I've been digging around with some philanthropy stuff, like reading Effective Altruism, if any of you are familiar with that. Like, that is at its core how to reduce the worst kind of suffering, like real, because everyone's suffering, right? Like, people walking down the street addicted to their cell phones, like people are just suffering in life. But real physiological, like no clean water or not enough clean water, not enough food, like that's suffering worse than life is suffering in the Buddhist sense of a Western person with all their needs met, but suffering. Which isn't to take that lightly, but effective altruism is puts forth dollars as economically as possible to solve problems, and I don't know that that's 100% correct on the definition, but basically, and to use that theory to help people who are really, really suffering is something that I'm exploring. It's something I'm interested in. It's something that I think that not everyone has the life that comes together. Not everyone maybe is blessed with certain genetics, like IQ. There are a variety of things that get people to a certain point, but once you have those 3 or 4 rungs of the ladder met, and like you're good on safety, security, like finances, relationships, pretty meaningful work, like you're in a good spot. It's the definition of a first world problem, because it's like you should be great, but then what are you missing? And I don't think you can think your way into figuring out the point of life. maybe for yourself, like everyone can come up with their own meaning for their life, or one that makes sense for themselves, but that like, there are these different paths. Here are three of them. Meaning makes the most sense. And pick anything that's meaningful and do it the best you can. And for me, I think that is some kind of reduction of suffering. That's where my head's at. More videos actually coming soon. Okay. Thank you for sticking with me. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.